Hi, my name is Joanne DiStefano, and with me is my colleague, Gail Swift. We are life performance coaches and partners in GIFT, which stands for Growing Intentional Families Together. GIFT provides adoption attuned coaching and support before, during, and after adoption. Our coaches help you make your adoption decisions with confidence. We have a series of courses for each phase of the adoption journey. Whether you're trying to discern if adoption is a good fit for you, or are in the early stages of parenting, or are parenting middle schoolers, teens, or young adults, our coaches will partner with you with professionalism, neutrality, and skill. This video will give you a quick peek at some of the concepts and skills that you will learn in our coaching courses.
All of the coaches at GIFT are also adoptive parents. We know from personal experience that a happy, healthy adoptive family doesn't just happen. It takes preparation, education, intention, and commitment.
It is essential to remember that adoption is a lifetime journey, not an event. The influences of adoption will echo throughout our children's lives and our own. Two of the hard truths of adoption are that love alone is not enough, and all adoption is rooted in the trauma of relinquishment.
Yes, Joanne, adoption is the lifelong, complicated journey. Parenting adopted children requires a unique, high AQ template that recognizes and understands the differences and addresses the additional tasks the adoptive family may face. AQ strategies help adoptive parents support their children with sensitivity, confidence, insight, and skill. Adoption Attunement is a commitment of heart, mind, and action that recognizes adoption complexity and guides parents so they can become the parent their children need them to be. As high AQ parents, you will operate with a level of insight, understanding, and validation that will serve your children well. Adoption Attunement enables parents to see, support, and nurture children so they feel fully accepted and can share and discuss their experiences without fear of judgment or rejection. Pause this video to read through this list to gain a sense of the depth and scope of the elements of adoption attunement.
Remember, ethics in adoption matter. It ensures that the adoption is legal and secure and is the beginning of secure attachment. Work only with agencies, attorneys, and other professionals who commit to the highest ethical standards.
Series 1. Getting it together before adoption. Deciding to adopt a child may be one of the biggest decisions you will ever make. Our series, Getting It Together Before Adoption, walks you through the discerning process. It covers all the important topics and questions you want to ask yourself before committing to adoption. From planning a timeline to sifting through adoption professionals to demystifying the dreaded home study process. Our adoption coaches give you a space for judgment-free questioning. You deserve to have all the information about adoption, including the less talked about aspects. The road to adoption can be daunting. Let us take the first steps together.
Yes, Gail, some of the factors influencing the decision to adopt are wanting to experience the joy and challenges of parenting, yearning to belong and feel normal, wanting to provide for a child in need of a family, wanting to provide grandchildren for one's parents, dealing with infertility or health issues that make pregnancy impossible. Prospective adoptive parents may feel sadness, anger, grief, frustration, excitement, and or entitlement. A stew of emotions can affect their thoughts and decisions. A coach can provide neutral and informed insight that will help them make a sound, careful decision about adoption.
Sometimes the push to adopt comes from outside influences, your spouse, parents, and friends. How much are your own desires fueling your decisions? How much is your spouse pressuring you? How much is the push from others driving your interest? Get clear on your motivation before you decide to adopt. Have you always just assumed you'd be parents? Is parenting, specifically adoptive parenting, what you really want? It is essential that you and your partner be equally committed. Your prospective child needs both of you to be fully invested.
Our second subscription series is a good fit for those who know they want to adopt and want to gain clarity about how to proceed. It guides you through the adoption process with discernment, confidence, and information. Now that you have decided to adopt, here are some questions you will want to ask yourself. We request that you pause this video to consider these thought-provoking questions.
Most prospective adoptive parents have heard of the home study and they worry about measuring up. Yes, you will have to meet certain minimum requirements, but the purpose of the home study is not to make it hard for you to adopt. It is to ensure safety and permanency for your prospective child. The home study will identify your strengths and weaknesses and alert you to actions and preparations you will want to take. The important factors are not what you own and are more about the relationship you will build with your child, one that validates the realities of adoption complexity and supports them with compassion and adoption-attuned understanding. Maintaining a strong, healthy relationship as partners is one of the best blessings you can provide your children. Do everything you can to strengthen the relationship while you work through the adoption process.
Be honest with yourself about your readiness to adopt outside your own race. Your adopted child should not be your first transracial relationship. As a transracial parent, it will be important to develop strong, meaningful relationships with diverse people, especially those who share your child's race. A child's race is fundamental to their identity and is a valued and significant part of who they are. Colorblindness is not a healthy way to parent transracially. When you choose to adopt transracially, you are making a lifetime commitment to notice the way race shapes your child's experience and to validate and support him or her in developing a healthy, cohesive, proud racial identity. Transracial families need to commit as a family to racial justice and equity.
Who will your child be? What is your window of tolerance for these factors? This is the time when you and your partner must be absolutely honest with yourselves and each other. Only say yes to a factor that you can embrace fully and wholeheartedly. Also, consider the attitudes and beliefs of your extended family and friends. Will they be able to accept and be supportive? Consider the actions and behaviors that they generally demonstrate towards people like the child you are contemplating adopting. Do not make excuses for negative behavior. Acknowledge it with honesty and then address and try to resolve the issues. Your children will need you to be their champion and to see the reality of what they are expecting and experiencing.
How enthusiastic and genuine do you expect your extended family's response to be? Might they respond to their bio grandkids differently from their adopted grandchildren? On what are you basing your expectations? How willing are they to educate themselves on adoption realities instead of relying on cultural presuppositions and myths? In general, how open are they to people of different cultures or different races or to children with challenges? Your children will need you to see the reality of what they are experiencing.
Expectations influence what we allow ourselves to see, hear, and feel. Rose-colored lenses distort reality, blind us to information that contradicts our presuppositions, invalidates lived experience, and establish role-playing in lieu of genuine connection. Theologian Thomas Merton wrote, quote, "The beginning of love is to let those we love be perfectly themselves and not to twist them to fit our own image. Otherwise, we love only the reflection of ourselves we find in them." Love is also the ability and willingness to allow those that you care for to be what they choose for themselves without any insistence that they satisfy you.
Obtain as much health information about your child and their extended family. Lack of thorough and accurate information can compromise your ability to keep your child healthy. If possible, make provisions to regularly update health information. Adult adoptees affirm that incomplete and incorrect health data not only causes worry and embarrassment, but it also endangers them and makes it difficult to be proactive in their own health care.
Legal formalities matter. Verify that all paperwork is or was done correctly. Incomplete and incorrectly completed paperwork can result in heartbreaking consequences and can sometimes lead to litigation between birth and first parents. You do not want to unwittingly participate in child trafficking or in either gray or black market baby selling schemes.
Our third series focuses on the early years with your little ones. These are the formative years when parents lay the groundwork for attunement, attachment, and security by understanding their children's adoption-connected needs. The strength of the fundamental work you do now will help establish and support you and your child as you navigate the more challenging years that follow. This is when you begin living the elements of adoption attunement. It will take practice for AQ parenting to become your default approach.
It is easy to take the desire to parent at face value, but parenting, like every important undertaking, needs a well-defined goal. Ask yourself specifically, what do you hope to accomplish by adopting? How will you know you have succeeded as a parent? Carefully craft shared definitions of the values that will guide your family. This clarity will create your roadmap for your parenting journey.
Adoption attuned parenting will want to provide their children both roots and wings. The prime goal of parenting is to launch our children as healthy, functioning, and capable individuals. Roots will provide them stability and resiliency. Wings will provide them with freedom to soar and become their best selves. A strong attachment to us and a vibrant link to their heritage work together to nurture those roots and anchor children in security and love.
Good intentions do not guarantee great results. Sometimes our best intentions yield unexpected, even hurtful results. When unexpected, challenging, or negative results do occur, choose your responses with intention and accountability. Parenting is definitely a marathon, not a sprint. Learn to respond instead of react. When breakdown and conflict occur, look for ways to heal the breach in relationship. This builds trust.
Live with a child-centered focus. Use their needs as a compass that guides family decisions. Maintain privacy boundaries. A child's story belongs to him or her and should not be shared with others. Oversharing, even with family, is one of the most common missteps of adoptive parenting. Avoid it stringently. Others should not know the details of a child's history before they do. Always remember to respect a child's need for information about, affirmation of, and connection to birth families. Remember that race and culture matter. And remember that adoption is a family experience.
All parents fantasize about their prospective children, but it is essential that parents release the child of their fantasies and love the living, breathing child in their home. This is particularly true in adoption because the child's temperament and aptitudes may not align with the inclinations and expectations of adoptive parents. A child comes into the world with their own innate temperament. They are not a blank slate. Love and see the child as himself, with his own personality, talents, birth history, and genetics. Consider the words of theologian David Augsburger. Quote, being heard is so close to being loved that for the average person, they are indistinguishable, unquote. Commit to providing your child with that rare and exquisite grace of being genuinely heard and seen.
Actor Will Smith invites us to parent with LUV, which stands for love. The ideal includes not simply loving, but also understanding and validating the genuine experiences our children is facing without minimizing, dismissing, or otherwise explaining away. It is a love that gives witness to their truth.
Language matters. Learn the distinction between positive adoption language and unsanitized language, which is language that reflects the raw, unvarnished emotion. Understand when and why to use each one. Resist the temptation to whitewash the hard and painful aspects of adoption. Gift has an entire webinar available on using language effectively that encourages deep listening and avoids blah, 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 blah conversations.
Each of us has an attachment style, both adults and children. Attachment is a complex relationship pattern that is built over time through innumerable serve and return loops of interaction. A parent's attachment styles influences the way they relate to their spouse or partner and to each of their children. By being mindful of their own attachment style patterns, parents can choose to be intentional in their efforts to help their children build a strong, secure attachment with them and with others.
Myths and presuppositions strongly influence our parenting decisions and strategies. They also shape the responses of family, friends, and community. Myths can cause barriers to genuine understanding and connection. Some may be inaccurate, and others can actually cause harm to your child and your ability to build attachment together. We will explore these myths in depth in our subscription series.
It may seem counterintuitive, but it is important to understand that your child's story began before he or she joined your family. Pre-placement factors can have lifelong repercussions.
Series 4, The Middle Years, Post-Adoption. Our fourth series focuses on the middle years, when a child comes to truly understand that adoption is the exception, not the norm. They also begin to realize not only how adoption benefited them, but also what it cost them. They begin to grapple with the grief and loss and experience the challenges of identity formation.
Think safety, safety, safety. It is the essential basis on which the relationship is built. Without safety, the relationship teeters, is fragile, and is easily damaged. Yes, human beings are programmed for connection. It is a biological imperative, but still, nothing happens until and unless a child feels safe. Their need to protect themselves brings up their defenses and supersedes their innate need for connection. Even when they are craving connection, if they feel unsafe, their behavior will default to protection mode and connection will be resisted. So first comes safety, then connection. Once kids feel connected to parents, then they will care about what parents value and teach. Keep in mind Dr. Karen Purvis' assertion, connect before correct. Before parents can discipline children, kids must feel connected to them, and before they will feel connected to parents, they must feel protected by them.
Children need the freedom to be their authentic selves. It is the adoptive parent's job to be curious about what their child's innate talents are, so they can identify and nurture their gifts. Parents must not try to force the child to fit preconceived parental notions of who the child ought to be. Be aware of your own unfulfilled dreams and how they may influence your relationship with your children.
Child's understanding of adoption evolves. This topic is complex and will be explored in depth in each of our courses. A 4-year-old's understanding of adoption differs widely from a 14-year-old's or a 40-year-old's. Similarly, a prospective adoptive parent's perception of adoption will vary significantly from that of adoptive parents raising toddlers, or of a parent of teens, or of a parent of adult adoptees. One's perceptions are shaped by experiences, life milestones, and relationships. The influence of adoption will spiral throughout the lifetime of an adoptee and the family who loves them.
Provide your child with age-appropriate, truthful information on which you can build as they mature. When sharing difficult information like rape, incest, etc., professional guidance may be very helpful, When seeking support, always select people who are adoption attuned. Be mindful of your body language whenever adoption is the topic. It will telegraph your true feelings, discomfort, fears, reluctance, as well as willingness. A truism of adoption means living with unanswered questions. Even in open adoptions, some information may never be known. Due to advances in DNA testing and the role of social media, the veil of secrecy of closed adoptions may be breached. As more people submit their DNA to databases, it becomes a likely occurrence. It is better for you to be your child's source of information. You can provide context, empathy, and perspective. Genealogy is the second most popular hobby in the United States, so it is no surprise that adoptees share an interest in their ancestral biological roots, just like non-adoptive persons. An adoption decree cannot and will not extinguish their primal curiosity about their roots.
Series 5 focuses on the teen years. These years can be exciting and somewhat tumultuous. These are the years when children are stretching their wings, finalizing their identities, and yearning for self-determination. Adoptive teens face additional developmental tasks as they wrestle with the 7 core issues of adoption and permanency, which are loss, rejection, shame and guilt, grief, identity, intimacy, mastery, and control. It may surprise you to learn that parents also must work through the 7 core issues of adoption and be mindful of how their journey may impact the way they respond to their children and vice versa.
Identity formation is complex for all individuals, but especially for an adoptee. Adoptees who lack information and/or connection with their birth families may find it particularly challenging. At this stage, teens will be weaving their adult identity from the many strands of their dual heritage. They begin the process of separation and becoming independent. Many adopted teens struggle to balance their drive for independence with their need to know that their adoptive family will never abandon them.
A hard truth is that adoptees demonstrate a significantly increased rate of compulsive behavior, addiction, and suicide. It is important not to ignore these risks. Parents will want to be aware of the risk and signs and take appropriate action. This is a time for honest assessment and proactive responses. Parents will not want to risk turning a blind eye in the hopes that it is just a phase. In this series, we'll explore the contributing factor, the causes, and coping strategies of addiction issues.
Adoptive parents will want to help their children learn how to bounce back from their struggles and to cope with abandonment and rejection issues so they don't fall into depression and other dysfunctional coping strategies. Adoptees will need extra skill sets to triumph over their issues and challenges. They are thinking about these issues even if they're not discussing them with you. Talking about such tough stuff will not make things worse or cause bad things to happen. Ignoring them will.
As you gather and learn information about adoption and adoption-attuned parenting, share it with everyone you can. Help raise awareness and dispel myths. Bring your family, friends, and community along on your journey. Share materials such as pamphlets, books, and magazine articles. Teach people how to support you. Equip them with accurate adoption-attuned information. You and your children will benefit from this approach.
Please visit our website for additional information about any of our coaching courses and for the starting dates of our next subscription courses. You will also find free resources such as our blog, podcasts, book reviews, and recommended annotated reading lists for parents and children.
Adoption is a lifelong, complicated journey. Partner with an adoption-attuned coach who understands what you are facing. You need not do it alone.